Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a few moments. So, again, I want to talk about the hologram, the dream state. And so our responsibility then is to change the electrical impulses that is being charged in the back of the brain. That's it. We need to change the attitude and the narrative that we are using right now. Scientifically, the brain scientifically shows us that the brain naturally uses the past against the present, and our future will be like the past, and our present moment will always be hellish, will be a place of bringing suffering in our world. Okay? The second thing is that the mind is limited in its scope. Okay? I'll give you an example. So, grow your pot. Okay? Grow your pot. When I say grow your pot, I don't mean grow marijuana. What I'm saying is that if I have a pot, okay, and I put a seed there, a small one, and it grows, and it's limited. But when it gets, grown, it reached its limit. It's what is called a rooted bound pot. So in order to increase the plant, what do I have to do? I have to grow the pot that I'm using. Okay? The same is true about the brain. That you and I are so limited in our scope, we think that we know what is true in our experience, and the process of A Course in Miracles is to grow our pot, to get ourselves out of that darkened glass of the ego, the darkness, the shadow, and to realign ourselves to who we are as God created us to be. Okay. Then, thirdly, I talked about the attitude that we have. For instance, we're talking about healing right now. If you say to a person, my friend is sick, he has a diagnosis. And by the way, this is what I did with myself and what I did with my spouse. My spouse and myself were not sick. We were merely having a call to health. You see the difference here? The same is true about abundance. My friend is really poor. No, he's merely having a call to abundance. My friend is really insane. No, he's having a call to sanity. So you see the mindset and the attitude that you bring to the experience? Okay, now, as we go through this here, the way of the processes I did with Daniel will hopefully understand what you and I are experiencing in the level of mind. The level of mind, because again, what we are discussing here are dreams. So let's go back to the first one, accepting all things as they are. You say, Kevin, I don't like to accept all things as they are. I'm sorry. What you are experiencing is a movie. A movie that you produced. Not only did you produce it, but it's already over and done with. It's in the past. The process that I did with Daniel, from the photons coming through the eyelids, going back through the neurons and the electrical impulses and so forth, is already over and done with when that process is done. So what I'm looking at right now is an inner movie. It's already over and done with, and I cannot change it, I cannot improve it at all. Let me give you an example. I dropped a pebble of fear or conflict in my pool of awareness, and I'm experiencing the ripples of it. Okay? But I can change my tomorrow by changing what my mind is doing right now. If I have dropped a pebble of fear and conflict in the past and I see the ripples of it right now in an inner movie, I can change my mind and drop a pebble of love and unity and joy and peace and goodness into this pool of awareness. And what am I going to experience because of it? the ripples of it. The inner movie then begins to change because of it. Y'all with me? Say yes. Yes. Okay. So I'm in an inner movie right now. I'm looking at John Denny right now. Okay? An inner movie. What I'm looking at here is a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon meaning that John Denny has an independent being that's separate and different than the phenomenon called Kevin Rice. That is an hallucination. Let me give you a practical experience here. The AC just came on. Amen. Okay. So you say, Kevin, how do I get myself out of that darkened glass of the ego, the darkness, okay? It's called true vision. True vision. It's like the spiritual eye, the third eye. Let's look at John Denny again. Okay? How do I experience true vision with John Denny? I experience true vision with John Denny by doing one thing and one thing only. By removing the gap that I placed between me and him. Because, my friends, there is no such thing as a separate entity over there. There is no subject and object there. That is the hallucination. Okay? Okay. Let's go to and by the way, from the Song of Prayer from A Course in Miracles, it kind of echoes what I'm just saying here as well. Because we're talking about healing here. We're talking about a call to help from all of us. You do not make yourself the bearer of the special gift that brings the healing. You but recognize your oneness with the one who calls for help. For in this oneness is the separate sense dispelled. And in it, it is this that made him sick. So what made him sick? It is the sense of separation that I'm perpetuating in my own mind. That's it. All healing comes by a recognition, by dissolving the lines of demarcation that I myself am producing between me and John Denny. Y'all get this? Say yes. Yes. Okay. So, because we are projecting our electrical impulses, our interpretations where we don't like, and project it on that inner movie, right? How do we stop doing this insanity? We turn it around. Okay? Look, John Denny is a wonderful friend. I love his company and everything that what he's doing and the harmonyexercise.com. But let's say that John Denny is just a jerk. Okay? Or my spouse, who can be stubborn. Okay? So I have to look with true vision and understand that there is no gap there, number one, with John. Okay? So I turn it around and say, Kevin, have you ever been a jerk? Yes. Hello? Y'all with me?
Amen.
Hey, Kevin, have you ever been a jerk? Yes. To my spouse, hey, Kevin, have you ever been stubborn? Yes. Hey, Kevin, have you ever been unmindful? Yes. And so forth. So we turn it around and recognize that it is not about John. The problem is not John or Aaron, my spouse. My problem is my interpretation of John and Aaron. That is it. Because again, all I'm evaluating is an inner movie. That's it. So I have to look at the electrical impulses, the interpretations, and the perceptions that I myself, for my mindset, my attitude, that I'm producing in time and space. If you're all with me, say yes. Yes. Good. So, if I have a thought about John, I'm on the airplane with him, right? God, he's such a jerk. Right? I stop my processes in my mind. I stop the electrical impulses that's happening in the back of my brain. And I say to myself, Kevin, don't follow that thought. Don't follow that thought. If I follow that thought that John Denny is a jerk or my spouse is stubborn, what do? I create a narrative, a storyline. And then that narrative and that storyline will begin to run me and hook me because of it.